So I live in the deep suburbs, and we don't really have like alleyways per se. It's just like a lot of clusters of houses, and um, there aren't really like those kinds of like structural spaces. But the particular location I chose is actually um, a pathway between a park that I frequent when I walk my dog, and a different residential street. And so there's just this little kind of like what I've prescribed as an alleyway between that street and the park that when my dog was a little younger and we could go on longer walks, we would go through that street so that we could go through the alleyway into the park. It was just a kind of nice way of, not that there, is usually an abundance of people around, but like just having like a little bit of a space that's kind of like a secret passageway, and like it's like a cutaway from space that seems public to a public space that seems private in a way, or that kind of transient space, which I have always enjoyed. So I decided to use that also for lack of options. So I chose to use an accordion for several reasons, but the accordion that I'm using is actually a friend of mine's, Julianne, who lent me it. We met up, I want to say maybe a few weeks before the mandate for isolation hit. So she had lent me her accordion, and then I've sort of been stuck with it, which I'm not complaining. I hope that she doesn't miss it too much. But so I felt like it was like a nice gift that was bestowed onto me, and that like I had an interest in wanting to fiddle around with it and learn how to play it, and then I was sort of presented with the opportunity of having an abundance of time with it and not much else to do, which unfortunately I did not take. What's the word? I don't know. I didn't utilize that opportunity as well as I should. So, which is also part of why I wanted to use it for this, was to bully me into touching this thing that I have stolen from my friend for months on end. One thing that I feel like everyone in all industries and sort of walks of life has been confronted with, this halt in a way, or at least especially during the beginning, there was this big immense halt of like everything, and to live in sort of a capitalist society where even artists or like independent workers or freelance workers, you're sort of ingrained with like these internalized like capitalist ways of thinking, in which if you're not being productive, or if you don't have output to this freakishly frequent degree, you're not doing as much, and that obviously has resulted in myriads of like burnout and depression and other so and such issues, because it's not a sustainable or realistic model. So I think it was nice to sort of be confronted with that halt, and that everyone, even if like you're always comparing yourself to the output of others, it was just sort of like everyone is kind of like in the same boat, where it's like you're not really able to do as much, and maybe that's an okay thing. And also the fact that like you have this thing to bounce your internalized demons against, of like, oh, okay, well it's been 3 weeks since I've left the house and I haven't done anything, but also so has no one else. And we're all kind of like reevaluating, which I think is super helpful, especially since I had a birthday while in isolation, and it's like usually those are the kinds of things where I feel like a lot of people start to as you get older, critique like how much you've done, like almost like the resume of your life, of like okay, well I'm 26 now and I haven't done all of these things, I haven't done anything, and you start to be really fatalistic about it. But so it's nice to know that when that starts to happen, you can take a pause and really see the palpable. Okay, well, you know, it's like if I'm unable to do these things, also other people are unable to do these things, and why does it seem like a realistic or an aspirational goal to want to do all of these things in a specific kind of timeline? I don't know. I guess I think there's a blessing in being confronted with a pause, aside from all the other aspects that are very negative.